Hey guys,
Hi everyone.
welcome back to ForWhy. Don't know what
For
that was.
why?
ForWhy.
I'm
Sorry about.
Julie,
Oh yeah, I forgot that. I'm Shania.
and this week we're talking about basically what the last week has brought us.
Yeah,
With it started off with International Women's Day. I think this month is Women's History Month. We've had the Meghan Markle interview with Oprah.
yeah.
We've had
Death of Sarah.
a kidnapping and death of Sarah Everard here in Clapham in London.
Mhm.
And we've had protests that the government wants to shut down. All in
And
one
police
week. All in
brutality.
one week.
We love to see oppression in the highest regard. Wow. They said, women, you aren't gonna thrive this week. We're really gonna pull the nail in the
Monday
coffin.
was International Women's Day and it was all fun and dandy. I saw men even post stuff about International Women's Day
They're
and
like,
people posting about uh, how Women's Day we have to face different problems for different women of different races or religions. Like it
yeah.
was great. I was like, this week is starting off great.
We even have Mother's Day,
Oh yeah,
and now
Mother's
it
Day
just
last
felt,
Sunday. Yeah,
yeah, it just felt like not the same just because of all the, it's not even drama, it's actually proper, like,
tragedy.
oppression, yeah, tragedy. And it's like, wow, this is hard. But yeah, we like to apologize for last week, guys.
Exactly, because that week was so hard.
It
There
was
was
so hard. We both were just like, do you know what? We're just not here for it.
it was just I was very angry at the weekend, I have to say,
Yeah,
because everything had happened.
it's just
Um,
difficult. Anyway, let's get into it. Let's get into it.
let's
Um,
start with Miss Meghan Markle.
so Megan came out with the interview, as everybody knows, because it's trending all over everywhere. So if you don't know about it, she just spoke about the racism that she faced in with the royal family, which is, are we surprised, guys? No,
Absolutely not.
no. Like the royal family is built on colonialism, imperialism, and you're like, wow, they're racist, huh?
Not Will,
What?
not William coming out and say we are not racist,
We're
and
not a
that's it.
racist family. What?
Anyway. The for me the most shocking things, because in my opinion, this is still like rich people complaining about other rich people, and they're all gonna be fine. They're not gonna have problems later on in their life. Like they have enough
Yeah,
money to live a comfortable life forever.
I'm just
So,
like,
but the thing that was shocking, she was literally suicidal. Like,
mm.
and then she said, "I'm suicidal," and they said, "Well, sounds like a you problem."
Can we talk about how the royal family has a HR? I'm done out. Like when I found that out, I was like, wow. Because I
I
know
don't
they
think they
have
speak to each
staff.
other, you know.
They
Okay.
probably don't. But I know they have staff and their staff needs some but like a
Yeah.
collective to go to, like as any like company. But like the actual members of the royal family are a part are a part of the employees. Like imagine.
I mean, they are. They're getting paid for just being birthed.
I know, but like the gag is they have a HR. And I was like, wow.
And the
Like
gag
you
is
have
that
to,
they, like in every company, the HR is crap.
yeah, literally. Literally
Yeah.
like
Not
it's
even
corrupted.
there, the HR is great.
Like it's proper corrupted. How can sis be like, hey, I like I don't I want to die, like I want to commit
I
suicide,
literally want to commit suicide.
and they're like, oh, that's your problem. Sorry, deal with
And
it.
the joke is that they've been through the whole Diana, not that she killed herself, but obviously Diana had like a bunch of problems like 30 years ago.
Yeah,
More? 40? Like 40, 30 years ago. Because it was like 80s,
they
90s.
okay, they
Yeah.
yeah,
And they have literally learned zero.
they like was like, oh well, you're not welcome here. You can't sit with us. We
How
don't
dare
care.
you, with your brown skin, sit at the
How
same
dare you
table?
have problems? Why are you such a mess, Megan? Pull yourself together, bitch. No, I
I
hate
wonder
them
if they hated her more for her American accent or her brown skin. I feel like
both. It's just xenophobia in its finest. Like they were just like, I don't like her.
not her giving up a successful acting career to
To
marry a
be with
ginger man.
Harry. I mean, was it successful? Kind of ish.
I mean,
She was in
Skins
Suits.
is pretty popular. Not
Suits.
Skins, Suits. Why did I say Skins?
I
Suits,
watched
yeah.
it and like I hated that show. Like I really enjoyed it for like season 1 and season 2, and the rest of the season just got really
I
bad.
think you have to be into the whole lawyer
No,
thing.
because it stopped being about
Oh,
law
okay.
things. Like it just got to do with like other shit that was really annoying. It got really like personal, and then they kept saying "God damn" all the time, and I'm like, what did God do to you guys? What did God do to the writers for them to keep saying that? It was just just got
Yeah.
rubbish. Anyway,
Anyway, so
that
the
was off topic.
suicidal thing was one of the ones that I was like, wow, that's a bit crazy in
Yeah.
2021, but okay. Or in 2020, I guess.
But like my thing is, right, it's not even what she said in the interview and how the royal family is acting. It's all the journalists. Like you really can tell that the institution or whatever they call the big bosses of the royal family, because it's not the
Oh,
royal
the
family.
firm?
The
They call it the
firm, yeah.
firm.
The firm.
I'm so dead. How pretentious can
So
you
done.
be?
And I it's super pretentious. But like the firm really be paying these journalists to chat the most shit. And
They invite them over to the palace once a year.
do
Like,
they?
yes. So this is all connected. So if they really wanted there to be better news about Meghan, they could literally make it happen.
Wow.
They invite them every year to the palace for like, I think like, I
Cup
don't
of
know,
tea.
I
Constant
don't know, like an
conflict.
event, and all I'm guessing all the editors in chief or something, probably, or something like that of the magazines, and I think Daily Mail and
Wow.
the Sun are part of it. Like
Oh,
it's not like they don't
100%.
invite the trashy ones.
100%. Most of the newspapers are involved in that. But yeah, proper propaganda. But we move.
The
What was
joke
I gonna
is,
say? It's
oh,
it's fucking Piers Morgan, yeah.
oh my god.
This man, I know like everybody already knows that he was upset because he didn't get the coochie, but
Piers Morgan is a person that would say not all men, but he is the kind of man that we're speaking about.
literally, but he's like, the thing is, how could you? Because to me, I feel like Piers has a very logical understanding of what is objectively problematic. So, how can you remove all your logic and reason and have racial bias because a woman rejected you? A black woman rejected you, so you refuse to see the objective racial problems
Because
that is
he's an
happening in the
old
royal family.
white cis man. That's
No, but
why.
he normally has like some understanding to what racist things are. Like I've seen interviews with him and he like will agree like that these things are
Hmm.
objectively racist. So
Maybe it's
for
because
him,
it's affecting him personally. I don't know.
it doesn't affect him. He just didn't get the coochie. How can you be that big mad of not getting the coochie? Do you know what he reminds me of? Do you know what do
Oh
you know
my
when a
god.
guy moves to you, yeah, and you're like, nah, sorry, I'm not interested. And he's like, oh, you're ugly anyway.
Yeah.
That's what he reminds me of.
He's
And it's
just
like,
well, an incel.
mm,
I don't feel sorry one bit that like he felt hurt.
like not
That
everyone's
he
gonna be
felt
your
like he
friend,
needed to storm off. I was like, are we 10?
literally, it's like what Alex was saying was so correct. Just like she don't have to like you, and that's okay. You don't have to like her, and that's okay. She could have hurt you.
We can hate each other, but you don't have to be racist. It's
You
not
don't
that
have to
hard.
be. And then the way he was talking to all the black women who they invited to speak on their show, like you're perpetuating racial bias for all these white viewers who are racist anyway. So you're saying, oh, why are you shouting at me when you're shouting at them anyway?
Yeah.
Knowing that you're gonna give them the aggressive black woman trope. Like it's just
Yeah.
he was just so problematic in every single way. Like I don't understand. And then the people are like, "Oh, does this make us come to terms that we have to look at ourselves as a racist country?" Like,
Yes.
are you dumb or is you stupid?
You are a racist country. I'm so sorry to let you know.
Literally, it's just really is you dumb?
How
I
are
just
people
think
not
you're dumb.
like I know no one wants to be racist. Like no one wants to get labeled as racist, I mean. Like,
Yeah,
but at some point you just have to accept that your country was built on colonialism and there's some racist roots in your system. Like there's nothing to be
literally,
discussed. It's literally a fact.
literally, like
And if you don't want to be called racist so bad, you need to do something about it and not just scream, I'm not racist, because that's not going to do
exactly,
anything.
like and it's like you have to observe the covert racism that is happening. Like, you can't just be like, oh, it's not because people are being violently killed in the streets, so we're not racist. Like, no, that shit happens, bro.
I love that, but at least we're not like America. Okay, but
But like, it's still there, and it's still very, very bad.
it's like when your parent
Um,
says there's people dying of starvation in Africa, you can't be like sad or something
yeah,
like that. And you're like,
yeah.
well,
Like, that doesn't take away from the pain that I am
yeah.
receiving. It's just, I have so many things to say. It's just like, fucking, her baby was compared to an ape, but what do
No,
you
no,
mean?
that was the other thing that shocked me. Them being concerned about the skin color of the baby when Meghan Markle already is half black. Like,
The thing is, I understand. Black people, our genetics are mad in it. So our babies could come out in any ray of the rainbow,
yeah.
honestly. Like, it's just how our genetics are. But you're dealing with the most Aryan looking mixed race woman ever, right?
Yeah, she's so
And
light skinned and she doesn't have like her face is very, I think,
pale.
Eurocentric.
It's
I-
very Eurocentric.
Yeah.
So it's like, what are you even talking about? And like, what people, you don't know the context. What context could you be speaking of that makes that appropriate? What context could
I
you
mean,
like?
even if she was a full black woman, um
Yeah.
like not mixed race, like why is that your biggest concern, the skin color of the baby, when the baby will literally have the best life and I mean in a sense where he'll always be financially stable.
Exactly. Will my baby be safe? Will my baby be healthy?
Yeah.
Will my baby be
Really, your concern is the skin color?
what color would your baby be? Like, how dark would your baby be? Like, what does that even mean? Like, because then you answer that question and I answer you, what's your follow-up statement? If I
Yeah.
say, oh, my baby won't be that dark, what do you say after that? "Oh, okay, good. Or
Yeah,
like,
I guess so.
what context does that even mean? Like, anyway. And secondly, this is my last point on this because it just bloody pissed me off that week.
Yeah.
Um, Piers Morgan, the Queen is capable of having input. Thank you very much. If she's able to reign as Queen, because she's physically, mentally, and emotionally all there, then she can protect her grandchild in it and her great grandchild. I don't care what you say. It's not an
It's
attack
just
on
like
the
the thing
Queen.
they want, they want the queen to be impartial on everything. And I'm like, but why then let's just get rid of
That's
all
rid
of
of
them.
the monarchy. Yeah, what's the point of the monarchy? It's like, how can you attack the poor queen? She's old. No, she's able to reign as queen, so she's capable of making decisions and having actions. Like, she's
But
able to do
as
stuff.
far as I'm understanding, she is still communicating with Harry and Meghan. So she doesn't like she's an old lady, so probably she's like, I don't really like I don't want to say I don't care, but she probably is like, I'd rather spend the time I have left with
Loving
my
my family.
grandchildren and great
Yeah.
grandchildren. But I think Harry did say that Charles is not communicating, like his own dad isn't communicating anymore with him.
It was probably Charles.
And I was like, how petty
It's
can you be?
Charles. Our next king, imagine.
Your literal child just wants to be happy with his wife, and you're not talking to him anymore.
It's like, wowzers, you are pathetic. You look
But
like
honestly, what do you expect
a
of him?
donut. You're a clown. You're actually just a clown.
He's been
It's
a clown since years and years.
birth, but and like, oh, they're like, oh, how can you do this interview because Philip's in hospital? I'm sorry.
And also, why is the press so focused on Meghan when Andrew is a
A
literal.
literal rapist,
Yeah.
pedophile. Like, I don't understand. I don't understand. I really don't. Like, this thing got so blown out of proportion, but you couldn't touch on there's an actual pedophile in the royal family. Okay.
To be fair, the whole
Okay.
Oprah interview should have gotten a lot less traction than the whole reveal that Andrew is
A
besties
fucking
with Jeffrey Epstein.
Do you know what he said? The person was described as profusely sweating. I don't sweat. Okay, Andrew. Okay.
I don't. The Warren family doesn't sweat. They
They
don't.
don't sweat apparently.
No.
They're just like object like just prohibited from sweating and doing like basic
How
human
embarrassed.
functions.
So I was watching The Crown and he has like an appearance,
Oh god.
like the younger, like him in his teenage years or like 20 or whatever. And it's
Yeah.
just awkward. I was like, "Eh."
Ew.
Yeah.
Ew.
But he has a whole wife, or are they divorced?
I don't know. I don't know much about the royal family.
Anyway,
They
it's
do
just
nothing for me.
like that could have been a bit blown up more
Yeah,
compared to
Meghan
Meghan
Markle.
just being alive.
And I'm very like impartial to Meghan Markle. I don't feel any type of way towards her because I don't feel a type of way towards the royal family. Like I don't
Yeah,
actually
same.
care
As I
about
said,
them.
in my opinion, they could just be abolished. Like they
I
don't give
don't
me
really
anything.
care. The palace, the buildings make more money than them as people. Like I don't actually care for them.
So people are saying to keep the monarchy because they bring tourists. But for
Isn't
example, Austria has many, many,
mm,
many castles because
mm.
they used to have a monarchy. And guess what? They still make loads of money from the tourists that go in because you can make more money offering like tours in the castles than actually just them standing in front and taking pictures.
Exactly.
I am just saying.
That's what I'm saying. Like you're not people don't come to London with the possibility that they're gonna see the Queen. Like they know that's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
They just come to see it for the tourist attractions, which is standing outside of buildings. But if you actually let people inside the buildings,
You can
then
charge like
they're more money.
£20 per person.
Yeah. Do you know how much bank they would get?
Yeah.
But no.
Oh
Wanna
well.
you wanna spend our taxes taking care of people who do absolutely nothing. Great.
And go to islands and be pedophiles.
Be pedophile.
Great.
Yeah, I love that.
Andrew
Ooh.
probably used the tax
Great.
money to get to that island.
We
So think about
he
that.
most likely did. Like we paid for him to touch little girls. Imagine.
Just have a thought about that
Just have a think
before
about that.
you defend the monarchy again. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Anyways, that just really pissed me off, that whole thing, because I was just like, there's so many problematic things about this, but
But also, yeah, I'm also impartial to Meghan Markle because I think like she's doing this whole like exposing the monarchy, blah blah blah. But I'm like, girl, you didn't like. I understand, but she really didn't have to do that because she gets enough money now for the rest. Like
mm,
they did that whole. They're still getting money.
yeah, I
So
know.
so I'm like, all of you are gonna be fine.
Yeah,
Like none of you are gonna end in poverty. So
this is mad unnecessary for everybody involved.
yeah.
It just it makes white people shudder in Britain, I guess, but most of them are ignorant to the truth, so they don't accept it anyway. But like this interview really didn't do much. Like I don't know what
I mean,
groundbreaking
I'm
thing
not
they thought.
surprised.
Yeah. Like nobody was surprised. It
Like
was like,
it's
oh
just
yeah.
confirmed now.
Yeah, I mean, good luck to them anyway.
I just stand Harry for actually
Protecting his
leaving his
wife.
toxic family and defending
Yeah.
his wife.
I think this the saddest thing about it is that a woman and a woman of color said, "Hey, I'm struggling," and nobody helped her. That's just a sad thing.
Yeah. I just Oprah, the one good thing that came out of the interview was the Oprah, like when she goes like, "What?" and like it's such a good meme. Like I think that's when she said like they were worried about the baby's skin color. Oprah was like,
What?
"What?" That was the best one. I was like,
Yeah.
"Okay, that's a good meme."
But you know what irritates me as well is that people are like, "Oh, why didn't she do research about the royal family before she got with them?" I'm sorry. Should people's racist behaviors be excused because I'm trying to get to know someone? Like I must not be with someone and excuse their racist behavior and avoid that
I
person.
mean, also you just like so you basically what these people are saying when you fall in love with someone,
Yeah.
you should do background search on the. I know it's different because she knew it was Prince Harry. I'm just saying she just liked this guy, and
Yeah.
she probably just like I'm gonna meet his family. I don't think she was like let me look at every rule book that I
Yeah.
can find.
Like, oh, what happened to Diana could possibly happen to me. No,
She
I
probably
just
thought
like
it's
this guy.
2020 or whenever they got together, 20,
4 years ago.
yeah, like
Yeah.
20 something. She probably was like, it's modern times, they won't be as strict because she's an
Yeah.
American independent working woman. So she probably didn't think that,
It's gonna be that deep.
yeah,
And
but
like
it
Harry's
was,
not next in line for the throne. So it's like
yeah,
he's not even gonna get the throne. So it's kinda like, well, I can date this guy. He's not the primary
yeah. And plus, Harry
person.
had all his scandals, but like he already was like
The scandalous guy.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if it wasn't gonna be Megan, it was gonna be Rihanna. So it's a
Oh
good
my
thing it was a
God, can you
mixture of women.
imagine? That would be, no, they would have ruined Rihanna. I would have been so upset.
They would have her and Rihanna. Rihanna wouldn't have managed. She would have been like, nah,
Imagine
sorry, babe.
Rihanna not being able to work anymore. Like, we already lost her doing music because she doesn't feel like it anymore. But then we would have lost her underwear and her makeup
I know.
and her like stunning looks on the red carpet. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, imagine. No, I don't think Rihanna would be able to do it. I feel like she'll be like, we can date for a while, but I can't
You
be
know
committed to
how
you.
this is so off track, but you know how Rihanna dated that like there was like this, was it rumors or was it confirmed that she dated this prince from,
It's a Arab guy.
yeah, and I was
Yeah.
like, she probably stopped dating him because he started to be like, you can't do this. I feel like that's what happened.
I don't know, but he was rich and he was
He
gorgeous.
was. I was like, wow.
He was so
They
gorgeous.
looked
I
good
don't
together.
know.
I kind of was like, yeah, she
Now she's
deserves to be a
dating
princess.
skinny ASAP Rocky. Oh my God. I'm so upset with her. I'm like, babes, you could have anybody and you chose ASAP Rocky.
Choices.
Ew. Anyway, off track. Um,
Okay.
but yeah, that's the first little bit of disruption of women. And the fact that Kate is like, what? I didn't make her cry.
I know
I
exactly, like, I
love
don't know Kate, but I know exactly what kind of person she is. I can just feel it.
Exactly. She's a
You,
mean girl.
like, people always act like, I know they met in university and stuff, but she comes from a posh family too. It's not like she grew up in like a one bedroom house with like five of her
Yeah.
siblings and they had to like
She
work,
grew up in a struggle.
you
Yeah,
know.
like she's such a commoner. She's not.
She's really not.
She comes from a middle class family. Like she's not a commoner.
I think it's upper middle class. Like
Yeah,
I
upper
really
middle
think they're
class.
they're proper posh. So
Yeah.
I was like, let's not pretend she's like this farm
She
girl
talks like there's a stick up her bum, so that's how you know she's posh.
with peace and love. With peace and love.
Don't find me and kill me, Rolf. The
Oh my
firm's
god,
gonna
remember
find me.
when, see, this is also like, remember when her sister, it came out that she, or it was a rumor that her sister was a stripper or used to be a stripper, and it
What?
was like this scandal, and I was like, just leave the poor woman alone. Like she's not the one that married the future king. Like
Her sister's the lady of the night? What?
that was what the rumor was. I was like, I mean, if she wants to make her money that way, like leave her alone.
I mean, yeah, it's tax free.
This is what I mean. Like when Meghan was engaged to Harry, they started coming for her whole family and like digging everything up. And I'm like, okay, but she chose, like her family didn't choose this. I'm like, what is going
Like you
on?
can't pick your family. I'm so sorry. Her dad's a dickhead. He needs to just go away. Like I don't know who asked him to keep having interviews and saying lies, but he just needs to go away.
That's some
Um,
real, like, that's a good example of how what women have to go through. Your own dad's gonna expose you when you're famous.
your
Like that's
own
literally what
dad.
happened to Meghan Markle.
Literally. I just think that whole I feel sorry for her, but also I don't care.
Yeah.
I just feel like this whole the public reaction to it is and the journalist reactions to it is more and more appalled about than
Yeah.
the
It's
actual
yeah,
issue.
exactly. It's all a good, she is a good example of how England sees their women and especially their POC women.
Yeah. And they need to stop calling her a black woman because you don't know how she identifies. And we're like, oh, she's a black woman, she's a black woman. No, you're calling her a black woman. She could just be a mixed race woman, or she could just be Megan. Like, stop identifying mixed race
Also,
people
what,
all
like,
as
it
one
doesn't
thing.
really matter what race she is. Like, leave her
No.
alone. Like they, oh my god, there were so many examples of her versus Kate, like how they got presented to the press, and like you know how Kate holds her belly, and it was like, oh, sweet bonding, and then Megan showing of her pregnancy belly, and she was like, oh, why is she holding her baby belly all the
Like
time? Like,
that,
oh my
yeah.
god, just leave both of
And
these
like
women actually alone. Like,
Megan eats avocados. That's why the forest is burning down. Like, I don't
and then
understand.
Kate was like, eats avocados. Wow, so healthy. We
A
stand.
healthy avocado toast, yay. Anyways, that's the royal family. Fuck them. Fuck the monarchy.
Abolish the monarchy
Abolish the
with
monarchy.
peace and love.
Respectfully. But can you imagine just having the prime ministers just rule every well, they do that anyway.
They do that anyway.
Yeah,
But
that's
also,
true.
while we're at it, abolish the whole government. Thank
Abolish the government,
you.
abolish the police, fuck the feds, fuck the metropolitan police
Okay, that's a good
too.
segue.
It is a good segue. I know, you're welcome.
So then the week went on, and then on I think Wednesday, it was like, oh. this girl, oh no, the whole week it was like this girl is missing.
Yeah.
But then I think on Wednesday they said like, oh, the police officer got arrested
For the suspicion.
for the, yeah. And you're like, wow.
You're like,
So
huh? What?
you can really tell. So basically, this girl, Sarah, she was walking from her friend to
Mm,
her house at like 9 p.m. It wasn't like, it doesn't really matter what time it was, but it was like 3 a.m., like a weird, dangerous
mm,
time. It was 9 p.m. I know it's dark already at 9 p.m. in the UK, but still. And she was walking home and she had like, I think she texted her friend, right? That she, or her friend
mm.
was like, tell me when you're home or something.
Yeah, yeah,
And she was wearing running shoes. She was wearing bright clothes. Like she wasn't dressed provocatively for everyone that like wants to, you know,
yeah.
I don't know.
Like make it a thing that women should be precautions themselves.
So
That's not
I
what.
was like
Yeah.
speaking to my mom, and I was like, this girl just went somewhere. And of course, as a woman, I should stop saying girl. She was like 33.
Yeah.
This woman, she was walking, and she, you know, when you walk and you see a guy coming up to you, you're already shit scared for your life. You're like, I'm gonna get kidnapped. I'm gonna, you know.
Yeah.
So when she saw probably a police officer coming towards her, she probably was like, oh, this can't be dangerous for me because
The police
as
officer
a white woman, you never feel like a police officer is gonna come towards you with any malicious
intentions.
intention.
Yeah.
So she probably thought she was okay, and now she's dead. So
That's that.
so that's why it
Um
makes me it's even worse that it was a police officer. Like it makes the whole situation so much more worse.
it's because it's like you pay these people to protect you and they don't. And it's like anybody. It's like the people you would call to protect you from a person who you think is gonna attack you is the attacker. Like how does that make any sense?
Yeah. And then yeah, exactly. And then it was also he was the department he was working in was for civilian protection or something. And I was like, wow, the
Wowzers.
irony.
Wowzers. He is a psychotic man and I hope he burns in hell. But like I just don't there's just so many things that is coming out with this case. But I want to just like start with like the base of like the issue at hand with her
Yeah.
before we get into other things. Like as a woman, right? Why do I have to be cautious of walking down the street at night? Like why do I have to be dressed in bright clothes and in a specific attire to cover myself up so that men won't feel the need to approach me,
And basically be ready at every second to run
to run,
or defend
or
yourself or
yeah, have a precautionary action to in case something might happen? Why is there some and in case something might happen all the time?
but like yeah, that's what I'm saying. So you are precautious. Probably she was like because everyone are or like every young woman, well, every woman knows this and every woman has this feeling when they go out and walk alone. Like it's just a common
Yeah.
experience. And it's just like you think you can it's not going to happen to you and you think, "Oh, I know what to do if a weird situation happens."
Mm,
But we don't because you can see how this happens that it's a police officer and you don't think of anything and then
yeah.
so now not do we only have to be like afraid of men, now we also have to be afraid if um a man in police attire or like what else could it be like in a uniform where you'd think they'd be
Yeah.
there for your protection. Now you have to be afraid even of those people. So isn't that great?
Yeah. And it's like, but why do I have that sense of fear embedded in me already in life?
It's just really sad.
Like that's like wow.
But
Like
that's
you
just
just
how you grow up as a girl. Like it's just
it's like everything you hear is like, oh, be careful because you know a man might kidnap you, a man might rape you, and it's like, what? Why do I have to have that in the back of my head everywhere I go?
yeah.
And
You
it's
know
not
they
even at
yeah.
night; it's during the day. It's like
Yeah,
in
my
the
friend
morning.
sent me a message. There was this girl that got raped while she was running in a park in the middle of the day. And I'm like, great. So
Yeah,
you're telling me I literally cannot go anywhere without fearing for my life,
basically.
without a man on my side.
Yeah, and it's like I can't walk anywhere without a rape alarm now. Wow.
But then,
Or
but then in the UK, pepper spray is illegal. I'm like, why? At least give me something to protect myself.
Exactly. But no, you got to walk around with your key in your hand, and your key is blunt. So it's like, what's this key really gonna do? But for some reason, it's the only weapon that you have in your pocket. So it's
It's
like,
also as a woman in general, like just in general, because there's women that are really strong and
mm,
there's men that are not so strong. But in general, when a man comes up to you, your chances of actually beating him in a fight is so slim because
slim.
just
Yeah,
from a biological standpoint, we're not as strong as men.
yeah.
And it's just scary.
It's super scary. Like, rest in peace, Sarah. First of all, we should really
And
like put that out.
yeah, my thoughts go out to her family and friends. This must be super hard.
Just praying for them, honestly. But let's get into the implications and complications of this case
So
of
yeah,
people. Okay, so men, men.
men,
It's
men.
not about you, babe. It's not. Stop being a pick me. Stop it. I hate these men who are like, oh, but know that it's about men too. Like, men, these happen to men too. Yes, we know. We're not saying that. We're not removing that. It's not revoked from the statement. Do you know what you sound like? All lives matter. That's what you sound like.
Mm,
Stop it. Stop it right now. It actually pisses me off when it's like, oh, but these happen to men too. Why is all men getting the blame of a minority?
because I saw the statistic and it was like out of all the crimes that happen, like kidnappings, murder, rape, like these things, it's
Yeah,
always like 95, 98, 97% men committing the crimes.
yeah,
That's why we say that.
yeah.
We know it's not every man,
No,
but
we know
it's
that.
enough of you to
It's
make me
enough.
scared whenever I see a man walking towards me. So,
It's like it's not even a discriminate towards a specific man. It's any type of man. If I'm late at night and I see them walking towards me, I'm going to be somewhat anxious about it.
yeah,
And it's like you are biologically like proposed to like have power over me. Like, that's just your disposition. You are made to be stronger than me.
yeah.
So like, of course I'm gonna have a fear. Of course, I like, once I know you and I'm comfortable around you, I'm not gonna have that fear that you might do something to me. Of course. But nobody knows every single man in the world. Like, that's not how things work. I don't know if you're a nice guy or not. So if I see you on the street, I'm not
Also,
gonna think that, oh, he's a nice guy. Like,
people just think it's like, when they say not all men, they are just referring to the ones that rape, that kill women, that kidnap women, like the
mm,
extremes. But did you ever touch a woman without her consent? Like, there's smaller things you can do that are also bad.
exactly.
And then you're part of the men. I'm sorry to tell you.
Have you ever made a woman slightly uncomfortable
Like,
by your comments or
the
the way
amount
you
of
look at her?
times in clubs that I've been approached, like, when they dance up behind you,
Yeah.
like you're just dancing with your friends in a circle, and suddenly you feel someone grabbing you from behind. That's
Who
already makes you
asked
part
you?
of that group.
Literally, who asked you to do that? Who
Yeah.
asked you? Who
Some yeah.
asked you to cackle me? Like,
This
who
is a whole
asked?
new thing of people how they realized they had some racist or microaggressions
Mm,
in the whole, like in last March with Black Lives Matter when that was like really big.
mm,
This is the same thing now where men realize that they are, like, I'm not saying they're rapists, but they're also
mm.
slightly the cause of the problem and making women feel unsafe and
Uncomfortable.
uncomfortable.
Their misogyny really gets in their way because misogyny is embedded in them from the moment they're born.
I'm sorry to tell you, a woman doesn't owe you sex just because you were
They
nice
owe
to her
you
once.
nothing. And like, I'm not saying it's appropriate to walk out with your tits out and your like you're in barely any clothes. I'm not saying that's appropriate. I'm just saying if a woman chooses to, that's not an invitation for you to then touch her or move to her in any
I can tell
inappropriate
you
way.
she's not wearing that for you. I can
It's
tell you
not
that
for
right
you.
now.
It's
Yeah.
really not for you. No, no, most women who are comfortable in their skin enough to walk outside like that does not need male validation
Yeah.
at all.
At all.
Like, it just pisses me off because it's like, oh, I'm tired of seeing men are trash trending on Twitter. Like, of course, it must be difficult for you to realize that there are negative connotations to your gender. I am so sorry. I'm so sorry that this is hard for you. But, like,
Like we have to live with fear every time we walk out of the house.
exactly. Like, there's police officers killing women that are meant to protect them, and it's like, oh, okay, cool. And
I'm
it's
just when one thing is a good outcome out of all of this is that more and more people are against the police, and that's the only thing that's like a positive outcome, because I've been against the police for years now, and like since the Black Lives Matter movement got bigger and now this,
mm,
that it's gaining more movement, like more people are joining it, and I'm like, at least something good is happening out of this, because the police really needs a revolution, the whole system
they
of
do.
protective forces.
The whole thing needs to be flipped and cleaned and changed because, boy, it's
Because
just a hot
people that
mess.
have that love power imbalances, that like thrive of having power, like even the smallest amount of power of over
Yeah,
someone, those are the people that go into the police forces, and that's why we're having the issues we're having.
yeah. But it's just like fucking hell.
But
And you
can
know
you
what?
imagine just walking down the street and not thinking of anything because it's just the police officer, and then the man, I just can't, it just makes me so
I
angry.
mean, I feel like that anyway.
Yeah, I know with black people it's a different experience.
It's just
Yeah.
it's not even like I am immediately threatened by them because a black woman experience, well, it is as detrimental to as a black man, but I feel as a black man you experience it
Yeah.
on a different elevation. But
Yeah.
I still don't trust. Like when so our lecturer, he was like, "Oh, just gonna take a moment to talk to you guys about what's happening in the world and like
Yeah.
if you want to express your opinions." And I was just like, well, it's just a numb sensation because like not only do you just you're what's the word? You're conditioned to
Hmm.
believe that something might happen to you as a woman. You're also then as a black woman conditioned to know that like the police can harm you in any type of way and get away with it. Like things are just unfair and cruel. And it's just like hearing that
Yeah.
happen to her, it's like I feel it, but it's not a shock revelation to me. Like it's an abhorrent act, but it's like I knew the police moved like that.
Yeah,
So
I
it's like,
feel like it's again a bit like last March with the Black Lives Matter thing, and it like
yeah,
became bigger. It wasn't so much of a surprise that it happened because
mm,
like I had no faith in police
the system
anyway
anyway.
and
Yeah,
the system. So, but it was more like a, I got the same feeling again with Sarah and the whole thing, because I was just so angry and just like so upset. I felt like,
mm,
I was like, this is so upsetting, and I just don't
yeah,
disturbing, and you don't know what to do because you're just a thing like it's not you feel like it's not going to change.
yeah. But even with the George Floyd situation, I even felt numb then. It's like
Yeah.
what can like how am I meant to feel? Like I know what I'm feeling, but at the same time, those feelings aren't really like coming out or being expressed because it's like this shit happens so frequently and it's like that's not okay.
Yeah.
But what pisses me off is like the policewoman who was like, "Oh, this is not a Black Lives Matter movement. The protest that these women were doing is to do with a sensitive topic." And it's like, okay.
Also, the UK wants to put a movement in now to shut all the protests, so that you basically can't do peaceful protests anymore because they cause annoyance. I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm protesting for my right to
Like,
move
survive.
outside without fearing for my life.
Yeah,
I'm
literally just the essence of
sorry
survive.
that your police forces kill black men and women now on the streets.
Yeah,
So I feel zero protection, and now I need
yeah,
to protest to just get some sort of change. So you want to take away
literally.
that now as well? Okay, we're just gonna live in a police state. Okay, I guess
Okay,
so.
cool. I guess
Yeah,
so.
cool.
It's
Thank you,
just
Boris Johnson.
it's just funny because like the protests for the women and like the women who are getting abused by the police from protesting.
Yeah,
It's like on the news, like, oh, how could this happen? Blah, blah, blah. But where was the same energy for BLM? Like, I don't understand. Like, it's just, I'm not excusing the protest or gaslighting the protest or like removing its importance for another movement. But it's like people are only now paying attention to police moving that way because it's white women. And it's like,
that's what I wanted to say as well, because there
fucking
was a
hell.
black woman that like was disappeared, and I think her body got found on the beach somewhere in the
Mhm.
UK, and that got zero news coverage, and
Literally.
it's still not solved. So
Like black women are a lot of black women disappear, get kidnapped, are taken for sex trafficking, and it doesn't get as any coverage at all, like
mhm.
in the media. Mostly it's on social media only. And it's like, wow, is this what
It
we're
just shows
doing?
you how regulated media, like traditional media, is. Like I think
Yeah,
now Instagram and Reddit and Twitter
yeah.
and Tumblr, I guess, like
Mm,
getting better at providing news for people our age that are more diverse and cover like a broad range of races,
yeah,
religions, countries. Like, it's not so regulated and centered around what we think is important. Like,
yeah, yeah.
so
Okay. It's just annoying though, like, and then that girl in our course, let me not say her name.
no, just
Um,
explain what happened. Well, what she
she
said.
she just guys, she pissed me
She
off
really
when I
didn't mean it.
I
I think
know
she
she
didn't mean
didn't
it.
mean it in a malicious way,
It's
but
just
like what she said was so mad, and I only deeped it afterwards.
yeah, it took
Um,
it. Yeah, I think that's what the problem was with her as well. She said it and then, probably not thinking enough about what she was actually saying.
yeah, but
Yeah.
like nobody had the energy. Like, so we were talking about being a woman and like the dangers of and the fears that we face, and everybody had energy, the men, the women on our course.
Yeah.
Then we started talking about POC, women and men, and everyone was silent. And then this girl popped up and was like, "Oh, I think the the country and the police move in that way because black people are expendable because they're minorities." I was like, "Huh?"
She was saying no, but she was saying London though, and what
But
you need
like,
to know about London is that it's not that white people are the majority anymore. It's just not how it is
it's
nowadays.
not. But like the word expendable is mean like we could be tossed and turned wherever
Yeah, it
because
really
we are
was the
minority.
wrong
It's like,
word.
how are you trying to make a statement about intolerance by using an intolerable word? Like it just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I think she was trying to like what she was saying out of the perspective from the system and like,
Yeah. But it was just
but yeah,
so problematic. And it's just like, no, just no. Like
yeah,
as London is its own little thing, it's a melting pot of cultures, races, and
yeah.
genders and sexualities. Like we are a melting pot. So
As Craig always likes to say, we are people who eat in our culture is eating Indian food on Swedish furniture or something like that, right? I think so. Something like that he says.
I love that.
Basically saying there's no English things like
There's nothing English here, British really. Like
except
that's the
English
smoking point.
breakfast, which slaps.
Oh, it's so good. What do you have though,
What
Miss Vegan? What do you have?
what Heinz beans are vegan?
Yeah, but what else?
I have the beans. I have
Mm,
vegan sausages. I
mm.
have vegan bacon. I have tofu scrambled instead of egg scrambled. What
Ah,
else is on and toast?
ah,
Yeah,
that's so interesting. Because I was like, that's a mostly meat dish. How do you know the English breakfast slaps? But you have your own
like
little
when I first
cheat
came to
sheet.
UK, I was like, I will not eat baked beans. It's so disgusting. But now I love baked beans. So
Do you know what I mean? I have to be in the mood for them.
I
Like,
love baked
my
beans.
niece can just eat baked beans on toast for dinner, lunch, and breakfast every day.
Okay, no, not that much.
Yeah, no, but she loves them. She puts barbecue sauce in the beans. And I'm like, you could just buy barbecue beans. And she's like, they're not the same. And I'm like,
Oh, okay. Opinion.
okay, fucking widow.
Um, so yeah. Then there was the vigil that happened for like basically an organization that like walk for women to reclaim the night. Like
Hmm.
there was a huge and they were socially distanced and they wore masks. So they were trying to be as safe as possible while also protesting for something or like working for something important.
Yeah.
and they were like, it was peaceful. They had candles, like, it was just like being grieving together, basically.
Yeah.
And they asked to do this to the police and the state, as I understand. And the state said okay, and the police suddenly said no, you can't do it anymore. But they still did it because what's the police gonna tell you if the police is the one that has caused
The
this
problem.
death? Yeah.
Yeah.
So they were socially distanced, but then the police came to regulate the walk, and they basically pushed people together, like cuddling them together, which then
Like social
proceed.
distancing.
Yeah, they basically forced them to stop the social distancing, and then some media posted, oh, look how close they were standing, right? And then,
Yeah.
but you were seeing the other pictures where you could see that the police was actually pushing them so close together. So you're
Yeah.
like, okay, but who's really at fault?
Them, the
Yeah,
police. Like, I don't understand why peaceful protest needs to be regulated.
it really doesn't. It's just
Like,
because
let them do their thing. Like,
it's
I'm
literally women
sorry.
grieving. Leave them alone.
Like, if I was to do a marathon for breast cancer or cancer or anything
Yeah,
to do with health, is that regulated?
I I guess, but not by the police per se.
But it's not like exactly is my
Yeah,
point. Like it's not regulated. It's me supporting a cause for the benefit of that cause.
yeah.
So when I peacefully protest, which is essentially the same thing,
This wasn't, but the problem is this wasn't even they weren't protesting anything. They were just like taking a walk to
but
commemorate what happened.
even in general, like if I was to do a protest and it's in support of the thing that needs to be supported and it's in a respectful manner
Just leave
and
me
it doesn't
alone.
affect anybody, I'm not interrupting traffic, I'm not interrupting pedestrians, I'm not
Yeah.
doing anything to affect the daily life of people who are not a part of my cause, then
Yeah,
why do you need to be involved?
because the police is just annoying.
Like
The police doesn't protect civilians, it protects the state.
it protects the state and that's the
And then
problem.
what made me really, so I think the vigil was Saturday night.
Mm-hmm.
But then Sunday morning, I woke up and I see all these clips of police like like women were putting down candles and flowers and like grieving because this is very traumatic for women
Yeah,
everywhere.
yeah,
And then you see police yanking these women away when a policeman caused this death. Like, can you not think for 3 seconds how that's just wrong?
yeah,
So they're yanking these women away, like really like harshly. There's pictures of a woman on the ground that the police pushed down,
yeah,
and it's like, why are we treating these women, these grieving women that just took a walk with candles and flowers,
exactly.
like criminals? Like, what is going on?
They just, I don't know. I don't know for the world, you know. Like, I really feel like, you know what? The world's actually getting a bit better, a bit accepting. It's not. It's really not. It's just like, even though things are pushed to the forefront of like confrontation in your face, like this is wrong, the
Yeah,
problems don't decrease. And it's
yeah,
like, what does it take for the problems to get better? I don't know at
yeah.
this point. I don't know
And
the
then like
solutions.
the head of that police department, I don't really like. She doesn't want to resign, and everyone's like, "Please resign. What happened at the vigil was awful. How did that happen?" And she's like,
Yeah.
"No, I won't resign." I'm like, how can you as a woman not see this problem? See, these are the women that like, I feel like it's getting better, but there's some women that
The
are
pick
want
me.
to be, yeah, a pick me person. They want to be so accepted by men that they will literally hate on their own gender. And I don't like, how can you still do that after all that happened, after all we know?
Like Davina thingy. The woman who did you ever watch Big Brother?
No.
Okay. Yeah, this woman used to be popping back in the day. She used to be like a host for
Yeah.
different things. Yeah, very
Yeah.
popular woman. She came out with a tweet and was like, "Oh, I know this thing is happening with women, but let's not forget the men who don't do this. So we need to protect their mental health. So stop
Ew.
blaming all men." And I was like, "Okay, scream pick me even louder, bitch!" Like, oh my god,
Like every day we are focused on men. Our whole society, our
every day,
world is so focused on men and what they have to say and their
literally.
opinions. And I'm like, just for one day, like,
Just
or
one
1 week,
time.
can we just focus
Not
on
make
women?
it about you. Stop making it about you. It's not about you.
Like,
And you know what? It is.
congratulations for never making a woman uncomfortable. But do you have friends that made a woman uncomfortable? There you go. You could have
Exactly.
done something there.
But
Some
like the benefit of women and men being equal benefits men too. Like the fuck? Like the safety of women benefits you too. Like I don't understand how having these things regulated and like having these problems sorted out does not show you like
like
this
every
helps you too.
guy has a mom.
Do you know what I mean?
Like, just imagine it's your mom.
You were birthed by a woman.
Have
Show
some
some fucking
respect.
respect.
Yeah.
Okay. Jinx.
So a few more updates that came out of this whole situation. So they now want to dress police officers in civilian clothes, like around bars and clubs, like outside to protect women. And I'm like, no, did you not see what one of you? No, please.
Mm.
I was like, please don't do that. Oh my God. I was like, I'd rather have, like, I don't know, maybe other police women, I guess.
I don't know.
But I
Because
hate the police, so just leave me alone.
even women can abuse the power that they're situated in. So
Just
it's just
leave me
like,
alone. So
yeah,
that I don't think it's a good idea. Then they wanna, as I said already, put in a law that like bans protests, even peaceful ones. I'm like, oh my God,
that's
literally
disgusting.
freedom of speech
It
dying.
literally take away my freedom to, yeah. Anyway, that
And
curfew idea is dumb. I hate it.
no, that makes no sense because,
Makes no sense.
as someone said in a lecture, if you put a curfew, then if you go out as a woman and you see a man, you know that that man is definitely dangerous because he's out past curfew.
Yeah. And I was saying like a curfew is just an excusable action to be like, oh, okay, like you men
It's
do
all
these
false
things
now.
on other nights, but and we know you do these things, but we're not gonna do anything about it apart from this one night, this one time. We're gonna make you not go out at this time, but you're gonna do the things you're gonna do anyway.
Yeah.
But like, here's this one night that we're gonna implement it in the law. Make it make sense.
And then, oh yeah, and then a police officer protecting the crime scene with Sarah's, bless her, rest in peace, body,
Mm,
sent a picture of that to a WhatsApp group with a joke.
yeah,
So these are the people protecting you, just so you know. They take, and then when you die, they take pictures of you and make a joke about it because that's apparently normal and the right thing to do in that situation.
because it's funny to kiki haha about a dead body that was
Do
probably
you know
chopped
how
up.
disturbing this is as a woman to hear? Like, wow.
Like, what is the gag, sir? What is the butt of the joke? That she's dead, or like the body's chopped up and or dismantled in a specific type of way, or your brethren who was on the force did that. Like, haha, look what they did. Do you know what I mean? Like, what in the
Yeah.
world? What is the gag? What is the butt of the joke? Let
What
me
is
know.
actually the joke?
Let me know. Tell me. I'm waiting to hear.
Every day I'm thinking you need to take self-defense classes.
Same.
But how sad is that? Now I need to spend money to defend myself because you guys can't pull yourself together and not rape a woman every other day and
Like, it's
kidnap at the
not
other.
fucking hard. Do you know what I mean?
Can you not just pay a prostitute if you're so horny? I just don't
That's what I
understand.
mean. But like, is it that enjoyable to see a woman tell you scream no
I think that's the
and
thrill.
fight
Like
back?
that's what they get out of it, right? That's the whole,
It must be.
yeah. It's so fucked up.
It's like, wow, what a good
But it's
kinky
this thing
fetish.
of thinking women owe you sex or something.
Nobody owes you nothing, bro. Like,
This is what I
at
mean. We
all.
need to put in like mental health checks during, like, you know how, I don't know, our schools had like physical doctor checks, like, checked on your eyesight, your weight, your, just
Your
like
school did that.
yeah, so twice a
Oh,
year a
madness.
doctor would come in and check if the child, because you can have parents that don't take their children to the doctor, so there might be like a lot of things
Yeah.
wrong with them, and so that's how the doctor does it, so then blah blah blah. And I've always been saying, why does that not happen? Why does not a psychiatrist come into school and does a checkup on people? Because maybe if there was someone like fucked up that was planning on being a psychotic killer,
Yeah.
maybe you can tell as a child and you can put them in the right therapy to heal, like to
To
prevent
deal
that
with
from
that
happening.
from happening, yeah.
But we're not that far yet as a
Yeah,
society.
society, we don't care about mental health that too tough like that. because we're soft and sensitive generation, so we don't really need actual awareness on mental health and how people gain to be psychotic like that. Oh, but some people
Yeah,
are
I
just mad,
guess
you know.
an email by the uni is enough. Like, if you're feeling sad, call us.
You can call us, lend a
And then
hand.
what? I still have to do my assignments and pay the rent and
Yeah,
pay the uni.
exactly. But it's fine. Anyways, guys.
That was it.
Yeah, just fucked
Anyway,
up.
abolish the monarchy, defund the police, and you men all need to learn your lessons from this.
It's not about you. It's not
And
everything's about
women,
you.
keep wearing what you want to wear.
Wear the fuck what you want to wear. Just be safe, everyone. Honestly, like it's just.
Always
I
share your
think it's not
location
okay.
and yeah,
Text me when you get home.
text when you get home.
Okay.
Okay.
Love you guys.
Love you guys. See you
Bye.
next week. Bye bye.